Once again, welcome to you all. Indeed, it is a pleasure to be with you. This is the third talk that I gave for the parish mission, and our focus today is testing of the spirits. Where does that come from? Well, it comes from 1 John 4:1, where he says, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are of God." Another big theme in John as well. It also appears in 2 John and in 3 John as well. What John is basically saying is that there are forces that seek to influence us. And in the Catholic Church, we refer to this as spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare. There's another warfare taking place in the world, spiritual warfare. And these forces can be divided into two categories. They can either be divine or they can be demonic. So you have good forces trying to influence you, and you have bad forces trying to influence you. The good spirits are spirits that influence us and lead us to God. They lead us to the good. They lead us to selflessness. They lead us to union with God and ultimately to heaven. These spirits are dispatched by God and they only seek our good. The bad spirits, on the other hand, seek to lead us to the world, to the flesh, to the devil, to selfishness, and ultimately to hell. And these are the spirits that seek to do us harm. How do these spirits influence us? Well, we are told that the bad spirits prey on our sensual appetites, our addictions, our diseases, our desires, and our weaknesses. They try to influence us by gaining entry into our minds through these weak portals, so to speak. And the church advises us, because this is a serious matter, to exercise something called discernment of spirits. We have to discern whether the spirits that try to influence us are good spirits or bad spirits. How do we discern these spirits? Well, there are 3 steps. Number 1 is, first of all, to be aware. Be aware of yourself. Be aware of what is trying to get through to you. Be aware of the forces that are at play in your daily existence. That's step 1, be aware. Step 2 is to try to understand, to try to accurately interpret the forces that are at play. And step 3, take action. Take appropriate action depending on the movements of these spirits. So when it comes to the bad spirits, we try to resist. And when it comes to the good spirits, we embrace them and we allow them to influence us in the right way. How can you tell a bad spirit? Well, bad spirits tend to work on pleasures of the flesh. They try to make us imagine sensual delights and pleasures in order to enslave us more and more in terms of our vices and sin. Whereas the good spirits operate in a different way. They try to prick your conscience, and they tend to rely more on reason and more on moral judgment. So whenever you find yourself in a situation where you're trying to reason and to weigh whether something is good or bad, usually it's a good spirit. But whenever you find the appeal is to your senses and to the flesh and your appetites and your weaknesses, that is normally a bad spirit that is trying to influence you. So my friends, that is also important. And you see the connection between the 3 days. We spoke about fellowship on the first day. The fellowship invites us into communion with each other. Then we spoke of God as love. That invites us into communion with God. And testing of the Spirit helps to keep us on the right track. So I thank you for tuning in. God bless you as we come to the close of this Lenten season, and may Easter truly be a time of transformation for us all.